Hey, everybody. I'm Lily Dempster. I'm the CEO and founder of One Small Step. And I wanted to make this video to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing at One Small Step and a little bit about us. We're a really small team. And I think that we've kind of given the impression that we're some big, slick corporate because we put out a lot of comms that don't share who we are or where we're coming from and why we're motivated to do this. So I have a background in environmental advocacy. I was GetUp's market impact director before I founded One Small Step. I've worked in the environmental movement as a climate campaigner in different jobs for about a decade. And my motivation in doing this is to support climate change mitigation. And I'd initially been interested in top-down reforms, policy reforms, looking at national changes at the political level, because I felt that that was the most effective and straightforward way to achieve the decarbonisation that we needed. That's still true in many respects, but I recognized that, one, we were moving really slowly on federal climate policies that actually supported emission reductions. And two, there was a gap in terms of what the environmental movement was focusing on and where we could actually get more movement to support rapid decarbonisation. And that was in supporting people at a mass scale to adopt pro-environmental behaviours that actually reduce emissions. And that's because we know there are millions of Australians and hundreds of millions of people around the world who are really worried about climate change, who really want to do more to take care of the environment, that don't want to be continuously damaging the environment, but find it really difficult to figure out whether the choices that they're making in their daily lives have any impact whatsoever. And then if they are convinced that, yes, when we're acting collectively, we can make a difference as a community, as a society, then actually figuring out which changes to make, what to focus on, what's going to be effective can be confusing, understanding the impact can be difficult, and also actually making changes and then sticking with them can be tricky as well, because behavior change can be really difficult. Us changing our behavior as human beings is hard. So that's why I started One Small Step. And we've really tried to take an empirical approach where we try to reduce your cognitive load by personalizing the app to you, giving you recommendations that suit you based on the incoming carbon calculator that you do, and then giving that information to you in ways where we try and do the hard work for you. So there's less for you to have to figure out, to make it easy and try to gamify it. So, you're just doing 10-minute task here, 2 minutes of reading here. And we really break it down in that way where you can actually get the benefit of those changes that we're recommending over time, whether that's making changes to your diet or installing a new home energy system if you're a homeowner. There's so many things that you can do to contribute to the fight against the climate crisis, especially when we do it collectively. And that's what I'm passionate about. And that's why I'm working on One Small Step. And I really want to invite you into growing this movement, growing this initiative, because we want millions of people to be using this product. We've made it free for that reason, but that's really one of the key things that I'm focusing on over the next kind of 6 months is how do we increase our user growth? A big aspect of that is having you guys jump in and get more people using the app as well. If you get value out of it, then share it with other people. We're focusing on what's called viral coefficient. So if I'm one person and I download the app, and I get one other person to join, that will scale our user growth exponentially very, very quickly. So you really only need, one or less than one person on average joining when you're using the app. If you can refer one person, that makes a huge difference in us being able to scale our impact, scale the size of our user base very, very quickly. We've already had almost 70,000 downloads in Australia. We've launched into the US and we're starting to grow there as well, but we're not bringing any money through the door. So that brings me to my second thing that we're focusing on, which is revenue, so that we can survive as an initiative, so we don't go out of business and then not be able to offer this product, and we can grow over time. If we're not covering our costs, we're just not going to last. So the way that we've done that to date is through affiliate partnerships. We have a couple in the app. We're doing some work to make them more effective. But one of the things we've tried really hard to do is only recommend products and services that actually support you to reduce your emissions significantly. So we're focusing on things like helping you do rooftop solar installation, get home energy monitoring so you can reduce your energy usage, improve your energy efficiency, supporting you switching to an ethical superannuation fund. But we also do non-exclusive recommendations. So we try and give you a couple of options that we think pass muster in terms of their environmental credentials. We'll be very clear about the sponsored relationship. Just say this is a sponsored link. If we are allowed to disclose to the commercial agreement the actual amount of funding we get per referral, we'll do that. With Verve Superannuation, we get $100 if you switch to Verve, for example, and we'll list other alternatives that you can switch to that we don't get any money from, just because we think it's so important that you can trust us with our recommendations and that you're able to make an informed choice. And then the third thing that we do on that is that we actually show how we've made these recommendations. It's not just because we're getting a referral fee from a group. We will not recommend any group in the app, regardless of whether we get a fee or not, if they're not really strong in their environmental performance. And the way we assess that typically is through third-party accreditation or reviews. So with superannuation, the fantastic NGO Market Forces has done a lot of work on assessing the environmental performance of different superannuation funds. So we use them as a reference point. And then we also use the Responsible Investment Association of Australasia. So that's how we manage revenue at the moment. We're looking at other models because we're bringing in probably a couple of $100 a month from affiliate referral fees, and our costs are about $30,000 a month. So just being super transparent, because I think that we've sort of presented a very professional front, but we're a really small operation driven by passionate people who really believe in this, that One Small Step is me and it's my developer Mark, and that's it. So that's who you're dealing with. We're doing a lot of work and we need your support. We need your support to grow. If you believe in the mission of what we're doing, you get value out of this product, then please support us. There's lots of things you can do. One is sharing the app with as many people as possible if you feel comfortable doing that. And two is just engaging in the app. We just launched a community feature. Use it, give us feedback on it. If you have suggestions on how you think we can raise more revenue, I'd be really keen for that. And on that basis, also just in terms of having greater engagement with the One Small Step community, I'm going to be running an AMA, and Ask Me Anything, on a monthly basis, where I'll just do an online event. And we'll open up the floor, and any One Small Step user or anyone from the public as well can just come and ask questions about One Small Step, about our strategy, about how we're running things. Happy to also talk about sort of sustainability initiatives and give advice. But I think what I want to do is really create transparency and a really good feedback loop where you guys have access to me as the founder of One Small Step, because we want this to be a community-driven initiative. And I think having that dialogue is one way of ensuring that occurs. All right, thanks very much for listening. And if you haven't yet, please check out the new community feature. If you go into the app, it's at the bottom of your screen on the right-hand side. You just tap community, and we're encouraging everybody to post in there. It's a discussion thread, and it allows you to search for any topics that have been discussed, and you can post your own comments, post your own questions. If there's anything with the courses that we're recommending you do, or the habits that you're trying to build, things you want to celebrate, if you want to provide positive reinforcement to others, if you have kind of anything you're troubleshooting, then that's the place to post, and we'll respond. But then there'll be a bunch of other users as well, many of whom are really, really expert in sustainability that can support you too. All right, thanks so much and have a great week.